All right, thank you so much. I'm glad to see everybody today. Hopefully, y'all are having a pleasant evening. You said this is the night shift. We're hopefully going to bring you guys something special tonight. We're going to be running a little bit of Castlevania 2 Randomizer. I know some of you are probably saying, "Why would anybody play Castlevania 2 Randomizer?" Well, it's a lot of fun, and you're going to see some fun stuff tonight. We got a fun show for you today. So we're going to do start off with here is going to be a standard randomizer seed. That basically means that all the towns and mansions are where they're supposed to be. They are just as vanilla as the game. However, the items within those towns and mansions are mixed up. So we have a situation wherein you know how to complete the game. You know where everything is as far as the locations are. You just need to find the stuff so you can go kill the vampire. So that's what we're going to be working on today. You see a tracker on screen there off to the right of Amber's screen. That's going to be lighting up as he collects items, and I will try to talk you through all of the things that are going on there. I'll keep you informed so you can kind of see that this is a really nice randomizer, and we are very happy to be able to showcase it for you tonight. So, David, whenever you're ready, let's fire it up. Okay, we have Ghost Simon Belmont here. The name of this seed is Here Lies Simon Belmont, Rest in Peace. Both the sprite and the seed name were donations. So thank you very much for those donations. They go to a fantastic cause. David Amber finds holy water in the first check. That is actually insane. Holy water is one of the most important items in the game. It allows you to do all of the checks that are below floors and things along those lines. So there's a whip there as well. That's a fantastic start. Holy water and whip is a great start for this seed. We're glad to see that. And we have a dagger, which is nice as well. Okay, perfect. So the nice start here. This is the town of Jova. This is the town that we start in when you play Simon's Quest normally. If you put your cartridge in your Nintendo and fire it up, this is the town you're going to start in. The items would be different here. And obviously, Simon would not look quite like he does here, but it's going to be very, very similar. So you'll watch here as David is going to be walking through. He's going to be grinding up hearts here because he wants to buy all the stuff in that town. He wants to buy the dagger, he wants to buy the whip, and he definitely wants to get that holy water. So starting off here, Simon's pretty weak with a leather whip. Once he gets that whip upgrade, he'll have a thorn whip. The whips in this randomizer are progressive, meaning you pick them up independently of one another and they progress upwards by one each time. The same for the crystals. You need to collect 3 crystals in this game. The white crystal, the blue crystal, and the red crystal. They allow you to do different things throughout the course of the run. But those are 3 crystals that they are absolutely required for us to finish this seed here. So you'll see some things, and as we progress here, we will have the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the ins and outs of this randomizer and why I feel like it's one of the best ones out there. But starting off here, like I said, he's just going to be grinding up some hearts. He wants to get as many hearts as he can here in the overworld. He warped back there. That's a function of you can warp right back to your starting point by pausing the game and pushing up and AB at the same time. That is a feature of the randomizer. That is not inherent in vanilla. But what that does is it allows us to get back home quickly. It's another routing option for us. So looking at what we got going on here, David Amber's grinding zombies. He's got 4 in a row right there. Nice little conga line. He's going to be grinding these guys up. These zombies in the randomizer will always drop a heart. They are 100% heart drops. So he's going to walk down here now with the hearts that he has in his hand, and he's going to grab that whip, and that whip's going to be fantastic. Now, instead of taking 4 hits to kill these zombies, it is taking 2 hits to kill these zombies. This is what's known as a warp abuse. He's just warping back and forth and killing that zombie over and over. Nothing wrong with that. It's part of the fun. Just one of the little quirks you can do here if you just need to pick up a couple extra hearts to buy an item. So walking in here, he does have enough. He's going to purchase this holy water now. And if David Amber is listening, your tracker is not tracking, homie. So might want to fix that.
I think it is.
Okay, there, I see it now. Okay.
You got a little delay there.
Little delay. Okay, no worries. Thank you for the heads up there. So what we're going to do now is he's going to head to the right here. He's going to go to the right because he's going to go check some stuff over there. So we're leaving Jova. We're walking and doing our thing. And he's going to go find the mansion of Berkeley is off to the right. And the town of Veros is also off to the right. Now, he does not have an oak stake currently, so if I were a betting man, I would reckon he's probably going to the town of Veros, which is down a set of stairs once you get past the bridge up here. And that town has 2 checks that we can do to try to find items. They has a check that normally you can only check with holy water, which he has, and a check that can be done with the nail as well. So interesting fun fact here, the nail, each one of Dracula's parts has a function. Well, most of them do, not all of them, but most of them do. The rib functions as something of a shield in that you can use it to block projectiles. The eyeball allows you to see clue books and things that maybe necessarily aren't visible otherwise. And the nail attaches to the end of your whip, and you use it to break blocks that are on the wall. So you can't break floor blocks with the nail, but you can break the wall blocks, which is actually really nice. So if you find early nail, you can still do a lot of the checks that are block breaker blocked, is what we call it, when an item is behind a wall you can't get to or under a floor you can't get to. With the nail, you are able to do some of the wall checks. So he enters the town of Veros right here. This is a nice town. Lots of nice people. That lady right there is radiant. The idea here is that once he grinds up some hearts, he's not only grinding up hearts here, he's also grinding up experience. So Simon levels. Your offensive power in this game is determined by the whip that you have. He's got the Thorn Whip right now, so he's doing 2 HP of damage for every whip that he does. But his defensive power is based on his level. So you start off as level 0. We saw him level up a little bit ago before he got here. So he's now at level 1. The idea here in Veros is that you can grind up these really nice, easy zombies and grind up to level 2. He's going to walk into this church here and be healed. As you can see, his health bar in the top left corner. He'll talk to this church lady and he gets refilled. We don't have wall meat here in Castlevania 2. We don't have turkey in Castlevania 2, but we do have churches in a few of the towns, not all of them. We have some godless towns here as well. So as you can see right there, that was a wall break, which could be done. There's another whip, very nice. That wall break could be done with the nail, but he had the holy water, so that's what he did. So he's got another whip now. We got chain whip early on here. We're 6 minutes into the run, and we've got chain whip. So pretty exceptional start here. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to continue that way. We've seen many cases where great starts turn into a disaster, but that's not going to happen here. David Amber does not have enough hearts to buy anything else in this town, or any other town for that matter. So he's going to have to grind up a few hearts here. Does have a check in there to do, and these enemies aren't too bad here. He's picking up a half heart and a tiny heart. So the half hearts give you 4 hearts, and the tiny hearts give you 2. He's also getting experience out of those as well. So he'll be getting 3 experience out of the half heart and 1 experience out of the little one. So he wants to grind up a few hearts to see what's here. Going to walk in here and find out what's here. He'll have to break that floor right there. We wonder why these vendors hide like they do, but probably because they're trying to stay hidden from Dracula, I would imagine here. That's a clue book right there. What you'll see right now is that clue book had an item in it. Did you see that? It had the ring. So the ring is going to pop up here. And it's actually pretty fascinating because this seed here is not only standard rando, but there is an interesting other feature here, and that is that it is what's called unified checks. This is a brand new thing that we're doing in the randomizer community this year for Simon's Quest. And what it does is it couples all of the checks together under one umbrella. So vendors don't just sell things, and clue books don't just have clues. Sometimes you'll talk to a guy who, like, maybe he would give you a crystal for free in algebra normally in the normal game, but in this case he gives you a clue about something. So a valid clue, not like the clues the townspeople give you, but anyway, so it's called unified checks because in orbs you might throw an oak stake at an orb and find a clue in there, which is pretty fascinating. It's an interesting take on the randomizer. It adds one more level, one more layer of intrigue here. So where normally we could find clue books might be a Dracula part that's required to finish the game. So he's going to have to, generally speaking, do the majority of the checks, including the clue books in this game, which he knows where they all are. And you're going to learn where they all are because he's going to be doing a lot of them. One of them is right here in Veros. So right there, that's the book. That book has the ring in it. So he's going to buy that whip there. Now has the Morning Star whip, and he went ahead and warped out of here. Interesting choice. Interesting choice here to warp out, but that's what he did. So he's going to head to the left now. So now he's back in Jova. Going to head to the left towards the town of Alba. There's two towns across the river here. There's the town of Alba and the town of Ondel. If you guys know much about the game, the tornado that is infamous for its obscurity is right there past the town of Ondel. So that's where we're heading. We're heading towards that, which is the middle to late game area, but he's heading that way anyway. So enemies are going to be a little tougher over here. You're going to be able to level up a little higher over here. One interesting thing about Simon's quest on the leveling is that you cannot stand in the first town and grind up to level 6 or whatever. The reason that you can't do that, oh, that's a shame. He died right there to that stupid bat. Almost got across the swamp. So if you die on the side of a swamp and you don't touch the other side, you respawn on the side you came in, which has a major effect on the vanilla game. But anyway, as I was saying, you can't grind up in the first town in the game and grind up to level 6 or whatever. You have to go to different zones to level up. Now, this zone right here is the level 5 zone, so he could actually grind up to level 5 if he wanted to here. Gatraz, thank you very much. Enjoy work. Please be safe. And thank you for being here. Question, is the B start on controller 2 not a thing in vanilla? I'm not sure if that was a question concerning the Metroid or this, but no, that's not a thing here. You when you're in mansions, that's in Castlevania 2, that's not a thing. It is in Zelda 2, but in Castlevania 2 it wasn't a thing. That would be kind of neat though. If you had that during a vanilla run, that'd be quite fascinating. All right, David Amber now here in the town of Alba. He's going to be grinding up some hearts here. Now, this town here, you can grind up to level 3 if he wants to. Welcome in Speed Gaming. Thank you for the giant raid. Much obliged. Yeah, welcome in. You guys are watching a Castlevania 2 randomizer here, so hopefully you enjoy. We have a Ghost Simon here whipping on some zombies. The runner David Amber right now going to be grinding up some hearts because he's got a couple of checks here in town. 2 vendors that will be selling items. These are not part of the unified check. They are just vendors who sell items. So the unified checks pertain to bosses, clue books, orbs, and free vendors. That's the extent of it. So he's going to grind up here, get as many hearts as he can. He's already got his level 2, which is nice. So we're going to have some fun here. He says a clue book is in the Joma Marsh. So that guy normally gives a crystal in the vanilla game. This time he gave us a clue. A clue book is in the Joma Marsh. All right, so he's gonna have to break a wall here, which he does easily with his holy water, and we'll go see what this guy's got for sale. All right, the diamond for 56. The diamond is a really cool sub weapon, but he doesn't need it. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And he's only got enough hearts in case there's a whip upstairs or an expensive magic cross or something. He'll want to have some money. So without having the extra cash on hand, it doesn't make sense to buy a diamond for no reason, I guess. So, was this Simon in Dragon Warrior 2? No, he was not, unfortunately. Okay, so this is the town of Alba. It's the tallest town in the game. It's got 4 stories. And he's going to kill a couple zombies here. Now, when he goes in this door, he's going to break the floor and see if we can get a little drop down here. We'll see what this guy's got for sale. We've seen nothing but whips so far from the vendors, so let's see if this guy's got a whip for us. Okay, laurels for 46. Okay, so laurels are interesting. What laurels basically are is they're like an invincibility potion, right? Like if you get like an invincibility potion, laurels are invincibility. They're temporary. It only gives you 6 to 8 seconds of invincibility, but you do get invincibility, so it helps you get through tough areas. If you're in a mansion that's got real nasty enemies or something, and you need to get up a set of stairs, you can use the laurels to do that. Or if you need to get across a swamp, like we saw earlier, if you need to get across a swamp, you can do so. David Amber doing some floor dropping here. That's a nice little trick. Frame perfect trick there, by the way. You whip as Simon walks off of the side of a 2-tile high block. And if you whip on the same frame that, or the next frame after he begins his fall, and if your sub-pixel is correct, you can do those drops like that. Lots of cool setups for that available. You can find all kinds of cool stuff on YouTube, tutorials and things like that on how to do cool stuff in this game. He's now heading from the town of Alba towards the town of Ondel. Ondel will also have 2 checks, 2 people that he can buy stuff from. But it looks like he's got a nice little spot here to grind up some hearts. So he's going to kill these harpies. They're respawning. It makes sense to just grab a few on the way in here. Maybe you know, got 153 hearts and 123 towards level 3. So he could technically grind up to level 3 here if he wanted to. Level 3 would be a very tanky level to be. You can absolutely tank a lot of hits at level 3. Yeah, as I was saying, Simon's defense, his defensive capabilities is tied to his level, and his offensive capability is tied to the whip that he owns. So you'll see a little bit of that. That plays a big part in how you route a game. How do you route a seed based on what kind of whip you've got, what level you're at, things like that. It does change decisions from time to time. Nobody's asking about the really good heart luck. Yeah. As I said earlier, hearts are 100% in this randomizer. It's the one thing that's not randomized. All right, we are going to take a look here in this first vendor. Excuse me. We're going to take a look in this first vendor. You got to break 2 walls. This guy really doesn't want to be found. He doesn't want anybody to know where his shop is at. You can't imagine this guy's making much profit. All right, he finds the first oak stake of the game. That's a great find. It's really great to find an oak stake there because he's going to want to do a mansion here at some point. If he happens to find the heart on this side of the map, he could do Brahms Mansion, which is over here on this side. Or if he doesn't, when he finishes clearing the left side of the map here, he may head back to the right. Now with an oak stake in hand, he may go do Berkeley Mansion. Berkeley's cool because it has 3 clues in it, which could, as you know, in this unified check, seed could also be items. So we could have a very quick finish, or it could take a long time. So double oak stake. 2 different vendors in this town both have oak stakes. Double oak stake is never what you want to see in a town. It means that the disbursement of those oak stakes is not going to be even. In this randomizer, there's only 5 available oak stakes to get, or 5 places to get an oak stake. So 5 different vendors or whatever. Maybe you'll find one in an orb or something like that. But there's only 5. So if you find 2 in a town, that means that distribution is a little bit little tight over here. So what you're going to see right now, David does not have the crystals to warp on the tornado, but what he does have available to him is a clue book that's hidden in the floor over here by the tornado spot. So he's walking up to the spot now, the famous tornado cliff where you stand and wait for a tornado. He doesn't have the red crystal, so he can't do it. However, yeah, he normally would wait right there, but he's going to check right here. A clue is in a book in Berkeley. So the clue book gave a clue about a clue. Yeah, that's not a very good clue. Thanks, game. Well, it does give us one piece of information. It does tell us that he's not going to have 5 items available in Berkeley. At least one of those clue books is going to have an actual clue in it as opposed to an item. So that does give us some piece of information there, I guess. But was it worth the walk? Probably not. But that's all right. He's going to head back over here. Got a couple of options available to us here. What I think he's about to do is he's going to do a little trick known as what we call the blob boost. He goes down to a graveyard that's down underneath this area. He'll take some stairs down where he goes. Yeah, so he's gonna go over to do this thing, and there's a graveyard, and what you can do there is you can boost off of an enemy, and in the any % speed run and the 100% speed run and several of the other categories as well. He just got level 3 right there. As you see, his health gets refilled. That means he just got level 3. So he's set. He's tanky right now. So he's going to go down to this graveyard. Now, normally, if he would have garlic while he was at this graveyard, he could drop the garlic to do a check, which is a really nice thing to do. And typically, if we're going to do a blob boost, we want to make it a dual-purpose visit. We want to do the garlic check and do the boost as well. But in this particular case, he finds that the routing is going to be more conducive to success going this way. So normally this would wrong warp you to the Laruba Mansion spot. So he's actually going to be doing that. If he can coax one of those Medusas over there, Medusa heads, to excuse me, to give him a boost, then you'll see him wrong warp straight to the Laruba Mansion, which is on the other side of the map. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we get there. But those Medusas right there, they boosted him right over, so now there he is in Laruba Mansion. So he does have an oak stake. He has a Morningstar Whip. This is the toughest mansion in the game for enemy strength. It's not the most difficult mansion as far as RNG and location, And layout, it's not the most challenging in that regard. That would be Brahms, in my opinion. But this is the mansion that has the toughest enemies in the game. So as you can see here, he's even with that giant Morningstar whip with the spiked ball at the end. It's taking several hits to kill any of these little tiny enemies in here. So this is it's a pretty tanky mansion. He's going to be heading. He's going to be heading over here, and he's going to talk to the merchant. There is a merchant here in this mansion who normally in the vanilla game sells an oak stake, but in this case, as you know, it can be a clue, it can be an oak stake, it can be a sub weapon, it can be a Dracula part, it can be basically anything at this point, a crystal even. Except it wouldn't be a crystal. We don't have glitch logic on. I'll explain that when it's important, but right now it's not. You won't find a crystal in this mansion because he is technically out of logic right now. Most people who are familiar with randomizers understand being in or out of logic, so we are out of logic technically right now. But the reason we do this is because we get the nice boost to this spot, and once we leave here, we just head back to the left, and it takes us to where we're in logic once we cross that swamp. So up here is our vendor. We're going to check our vendor here, see what's up. He's selling an oak stake, so not the greatest find, but David will be able to grab another one. David will be able to grab another one on the way out of this mansion. So he'll use his other oak stake here, the one that he owns right now, and he'll be able to buy another one before he leaves. You can only carry one oak stake at a time in this game. You can carry 4 garlic. Graveyard duck has a clue, so that's good information. We'll talk about that in a second. You can carry 4 garlic and 4 laurels in 1 oak stake. If you get the silk bag, you can then carry 8 garlic and 8 laurels, but you can still only carry 1 oak stake. So that guy right there, we were hoping he was going to give us a Dracula part, but what he gave us is actually pretty good. He told us that the graveyard duck has a clue. So the graveyard duck, remember where we were just a moment ago when we did that boost off the Medusa heads? That's the graveyard there. Hang on one second. When he drops the garlic, okay, he finds the nail here. So he did find a Dracula part here in Laruba, so that's a fantastic find. We'll come back to the graveyard duck in a moment. This is Carmela. This is the boss, Carmela here. She is she's not a difficult boss as far as challenge for how to get her pattern down. It's the same pattern, but she has an RNG thing where she can stay up there at the top and drop tears like that, and you have to dodge her tears for a while until she decides to come back down. That was a quick cycle. That was only 2 tear drops. Sometimes she can stand up there for 20 turns and drop. So he just got a clue about, okay, he got a self-referencing clue, basically. That Carmela clue, yeah, Carmela clue told him that he got a clue book, or he got a clue for free from the free guy that we just got the free one from. But anyway, what the free guy told us, that the clue was referencing there, is that the graveyard duck has a clue. So what that means for us as runners here is we would immediately start thinking, okay, so we never need to route in that graveyard again. We don't need to go back there for a check. We know that now. He does have a clue, which might be nice to have, but we're not going to be routing that back in unless we need to make another world warp here, which I don't think we're going to be doing based on how I'm seeing the seed play out here. So what that does is it tells us that check is not required. So we may never have to go on that side again unless we could take the tornado. And if we do, we still don't have to go down to that graveyard again and drop garlic. So that's actually a really nice thing to find here. Not a great, you'd rather have a part or something important, a sub weapon or something like that, but that's actually a good clue. It could save minutes of our time here and keep us from having to do some bunch of unnecessary checks and things like that. So, all right, so David is now going to exit Laruba Mansion. He has done a marvelous job getting through here. Did get a required part. So now we don't have to come back to this area again, which is actually nice. Laruba Mansion here sits in the middle of a giant poisonous swamp. And to get here, or to get away from here, you are required to essentially cross a swamp. Now, he does have laurels here, which he may or may not use. David's stubborn and likes to cross swamps without laurels if possible. I'm kind of the opposite. I just use the crap out of him. He's usually better at Rando than me because I like to use my laurels a little more than he does. So he keeps them in this pocket, which is kind of smart. So you see here, he's got to make a decision. He's got only about 5 pips of health here, so he'll probably won't be able to go very far before he uses his laurel. And there's his first laurel right there. Now he has invincibility. As you can see, his health points aren't going down. He will lose a laurel. He will lose his laurel here and re-engage. So he's invincible. He needs to make it all the way to that shore over there before he runs out, and he did. So safe, well done. Used 2 of his 4 laurels there. All right. That's another thing. You just saw him menu right there to switch off those laurels. It is very easy to push up and B on accident and activate a laurel and waste one. And sometimes those things are as good as gold in this game, just depending on the mansion layouts and things like that. But anyway, David's got basically maximum hearts, and it's a good thing that he does because he's coming to a town where he's going to be able to buy 2 things here. There's 2 vendors that are selling some stuff. So he is set up right now pretty well for walking into this town right now. He'll be able to afford anything they've got. He won't need to grind any hearts. We'll just see what they've got. There's also, in addition to the 2 vendors here, this is the town of Algebra, by the way. Normally, the blue crystal is here in the vanilla game. But yeah, never rest on your laurels, by the way. Good call out there. Any amount of money. Appreciate that. Very smart and wise. So normally you get the blue crystal here. He's going to be able to check here. He's got a whip. So now look at this. Look at this thing. He's got a flame whip now. This is the most powerful weapon in the game now. He now holds the ultimate power in his hands, and enemies will melt to his will. But on top of the 2
power,
he's the ultimate power. On top of the 2 vendors here in town, there's a guy up here that normally has that blue crystal I was talking about. His name is Alan Jibba. That's not canon, but it is in the Rando community. That is his name, Alan Jibba. We're going to go talk to Alan Jibba, the crystal guy, and he is going to give us something, potentially a clue, potentially an item, potentially a weapon. We'll see what he's got. He's right here. He has the heart, which is actually a really cool thing. As you see, the heart will light up here. On the tracker, the heart is the Dracula part that doesn't really have a function, except it allows us to do one very specific thing. It allows us to cross the river to go to the Brahms Mansion area, which you cannot go to Brahms Mansion without that heart. You have to show that to the ferryman. He then takes you to that special place. So David Amber here is going to check this clue, and he finds garlic in the clue book. So that's actually fascinating. He could respawn that clue if he wanted to. No, he doesn't. But anyway, he's got garlic now. So he grabbed 2 garlic from that book, that clue book, which is fantastic because remember that graveyard we were talking about we'll never have to go to drop garlic? Well, there's another graveyard right over here where we drop garlic. And he's going to be able to get something here. So hopefully that would be dope. A book that just says garlic is a book I would like to read. Yeah, it would be fantastic. Hey, I read a book today, Mom. All right, he grabs laurels from that guy. So he now has a refill on his laurels. Not the greatest find, but not the worst find either. So as you can see right now, David Amber currently has an oak stake. He's got garlic. He's got laurels. He's got the holy water. He's got the ring, Dracula's nail, and the heart. And we're going to see what's down here. This is another vendor who's got the sacred flame. He'll pass on the sacred flame for now. Although he can afford it, you know. Don't be so stingy, David. Buy the sacred flame. Give the people what they want.
Sacred flame is junk.
Sacred flame is junk. Yeah, it's not the best weapon. All right, so now he's at the town of Algebra. Now, if you recall earlier in the seed, we're at minute 27 now, but at about minute 6 or 7, he went down to the town of Veros. Remember that? We're actually not far from there now because he did that wrong warp. We're now walking west, whereas we went east to get to Veros before. He then warped back to Jova, then did the boost, and that boosted him over here. So now he has the opportunity to go back through here and do the other checks he was unable to do before, which is nice. So this is his route. He's decided to route it in this way, and it actually does save probably a significant amount of time. Okay, so that clue book he just checked there in the floor had a crystal in it. So we now have white crystal. White crystal. It doesn't do much for us. It does allow us to see one invisible platform in a mansion, but you can use the platform knowing that it's there without seeing it. So it's really not that important. Another crystal. Okay, interesting. So this is what's known as Dobby's Path. Normally you would find the sacred
decisions, eh?
Yeah. So he just found 2 crystals in a row. He does have an oak stake. So what that does is it puts us in a position to be able to go down and do the rover check. Now, Rover is a mansion that's underwater. You guys may not have known that, but Castlevania 2 has an underwater mansion known as Rover or Lobber, depending on the translation. But what you got to do to get to there, he just did a nice floor drop. Nice floor drop there, David. What he's got to do to get there is he's got to walk down through this cave and come out on the other side. And once he gets on the other side of this cave, it's going to open up to a lake. That lake is called Yuba Lake. And we have to drain that lake or a portion of that lake in order for us to be able to go underneath the water to access a mansion called Rover, which is actually a pretty cool process. This is another one of those things that maybe weren't too obvious to folks back in the day. David Amber trying to save a few frames by getting that floor drop right there. But what you do is you select your blue crystal and you kneel down and wait for about 4.5 seconds real time, and you'll watch that lake drain, and that opens up a path down below the water. Which is really cool, and it's a neat effect, right? But it actually gets much more interesting later on in this mansion, because when you get to the very top of this mansion, you can see the water above you overhead. So it's actually the developers put a really cool thing in there. They could have just put a mansion down here and said screw it, but they actually made the water of the lake visible while you're in this mansion above you. So now David's spider there just boosted him into the water. So it's a nice damage boost there. Unfortunately, it did not end well for our runner, Mr. David Amber. So this is the Mansion of Rover. It's a good mansion to be in. You can get hearts pretty quickly in here. There's 2 checks plus the 2 clue book checks in here. He's going to go do a clue book check first, which is right up here on the wall. Vampire hunters cannot swim. That is correct. All right. Laurels are free in devious woods. Okay, that's a good clue. He gets a golden knife there for 120. Golden knife's a cool weapon. He'll show off here in a little bit. But the devious woods is a check that's later in the game. Hang on. Before I talk about that, we're going to talk about this wrong warp that David's about to do here. He just warped into this creepy, weird mansion. He's going to walk all the way around. Yeah, nice wrong warp. He's going to walk all the way around here and go up into the orb room up top of on top of the mansion. So this saves a ton of time. He almost got a floor drop there that would have saved even more time. But instead, we'll just take the walk around. We call it the walk of shame, but it's no big deal. That's a tough floor drop. Best runners in the world have trouble getting that floor drop. So here's where he warps back into the spot. Now, if you look up top, okay, so he gets the rib out of that clue book. Look above him right there. You see that water up there? That is the water on top of this mansion, and we are below it. So that's actually, I really love the way that they did that. I think that's really cool. So as you can see, David Amber just got the rib out of that clue book. The rib, as you can see, is a shield. It shields us against projectiles, which is really cool. All right, we're going to stab this orb with an oak stake and see what it's got. And it's got more garlic, so not a great check. But we did all 4 checks in Rover. We got some good stuff. We got the rib, which is great. We got the golden knife, which is pretty dope. And we got some good information. What we were looking at on that clue earlier was the devious woods having laurels. That's a good clue because we're not going to rely on that check. We won't be late game thinking, well, it could be, the item that we need to finish the game could be in devious woods. It basically eliminates that check from our check pool, so we know that it's not going to be necessary. So just like the check for the graveyard duck, just like that check being unnecessary, we now know that the devious woods is not going to be something that we need. So, all right, David just showed the heart to the ferryman, who now brought him to a new spot. If you recall earlier, we went to the town of Alba when we crossed the river. Now we're at a mansion. We're going to skip the mansion because screw that mansion. David Amber's going to be heading over to the left here. Now, this is some fun platforming right here. The Ghost Simon Sprite is doing a marvelous job. We're going to see David go all the way to the mountain over here, and then he's going to he's going to talk to a guy, like a gypsy-looking dude over there, and that guy's going to give us something. Could be a clue, could be an item, could be, hopefully, what we really want to see there right now is an oak stake, because if you look at his tracker, he doesn't have one. He's getting ready to do a mansion. You never want to go into a mansion if you can avoid it without an oak stake. However, in this particular case, because we're doing unified checks, the heart is free and owl. The heart is free and owl. Okay. I think I meant to say algebra there. Randomizer seeds are bugged all over the place. I heard we had a Metroid debacle earlier with some animals. Anyway, he's going into Brahm's mansion right now, which is a great spot to be because it has 3 normal checks and it has 2 clue books. So we could potentially, we could honestly be in go mode after this mansion. It is possible. Unlikely, but it's possible. Because right now, all we need to finish this run is the eyeball, the red crystal, and the cross. That's all we need. That's all that's left. And there's only a few places left to check. David's on really good pace right now. Bugs are animals too. That's very incredibly intelligent. It is correct. Bugs are animals too, and even though we, sometimes bugs can ruin a seed, they're still people too. I love that. I love that. Brahms Mansion. This is the trickiest mansion, in my opinion, in the vanilla game. But in Rando, if you've got the Flame Whip and it's unified checks, you're actually in a really good spot because he has 4 opportunities in here to find an oak stake before he ever gets to the orb. He's going to do a clue book check up top. He's going to do a clue book check in the death drop room. He'll talk to a vendor. He'll kill death, and he'll do all of that before he ever has to stab the orb. So far we've found, I believe, 3 oak stakes, 2 in Ondel and 1 in Laruba. So there's still 2 oak stakes out there, and the chances are pretty good we're going to find one in here. The number of checks that are outstanding and available to us are going down relatively rapidly. So my estimation is that if we did the math on this, we would have to guess that there's an oak stake in this mansion, whether it's in a clue book, a vendor, or in the boss. So we're going to see the second boss here in just a second. David's going to go over here and grab this clue book first. And it says an oak stake is for sale in Laruba. It's an oak stake clue, which is great, but it's one we already knew about, and it's on the other side of the world. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. That is all right. One of the checks didn't work out. We still have 3 more, so I'm going to remain the eternal optimist here. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to remain the eternal optimist here because I still believe there is an oak stake in this mansion. And we're going to find it. And when we do, we're going to get something good out of that orb. I believe that. All right, nice little floor drop there set up on the subpixel. David's now going to do a clue book check over here. He's going to throw, there's a little clue hidden right there. An oak stake is for sale in Ondel, which is another oak stake clue. It's another oak stake clue, and it's another one that we
the sad trombone.
That's our host, man. So good. Oh, the eyeball. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so we now have all of Dracula's parts. We have the rib, the heart, the nail, the eyeball, and the ring. The only thing we're missing now is the red crystal, which I believe is going to be in this mansion, and the cross, which may or may not be in this mansion. But the crystal's probably going to be in this mansion, I would reckon. Oh, David got the nice wrong warp there into Death Chamber. Very nicely done, David Amber. Gonna go ahead and whip this guy down. With that Flame Whip, Death is a walk in the park. He's a piece of cake. That Flame Whip is nasty. Okay, we got the magic cross. So that tells us something. It tells us something. What it tells us is we need an oak stake. And here's why, okay? Remember earlier I was talking about logic and I said that we would discuss it when it was important? Well, now it's important. Because the only thing missing, the only thing our runner needs now is that red crystal. Now, logic here puts us in a position. Where is David Amber right now? Okay, okay, I got it. Yeah, logic now tells us that because the only thing we're missing is the crystal, and you can't access the other side of the world without a red crystal, logic tells us that the crystal has to be on this side of the tornado. And we've already done, I believe, we've done every check except for, we haven't done Berkeley yet, right? Berkeley's, I think, the only thing we haven't done yet. So that oak stake could be either in Berkeley or it could be in the Brahms orb there. So we're going to be heading to Berkeley right now because there's 3 clue checks in Berkeley. There's a vendor check and there's an orb check there. So there's a lot of checks in Berkeley for us, and we think that's going to be the last. I think that's probably going to be the last place we have to go. I don't think we're going to have to go back to Brahms for that orb. I really think that we've got a lot of checks there in Berkeley available to us. So that's the last check. I believe that's going to be the last place we have to go. Berkeley Mansion, which is the first mansion you would normally do according to the developers. It is normally the second mansion that we do in the speed run, but it is the easiest mansion in the game as far as enemy health. Now, that said, it is one of the longest mansions in the game as far as distance we have to traverse to get to the crap we need. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a walk there in Berkeley Mansion. You're going to see some really, really weak enemies, and you're going to see David use his execution skills and whip his way through there with ease. Here we are at Berkeley Mansion. As you can see, there's no platform. Oh, but it's actually there, and we used it. If you have the white crystal equipped or any other crystal equipped, you can see that platform. We just did not have it equipped that time, but it's okay. Never fear, it is still there. All right, so David Amber now is going to be heading. First check he's going to do here is going to be a clue book in the wall. That's going to be one floor above where he is right now. He's going to go up one more set of stairs, and he's going to boost up here and take a death. Very nice. Call that the David Amber boost, or the D Amber boost for short. He loves doing that one. What it does is it gets you to your continue so that you can start fresh on your hearts and your lives. You have full life counter, and the hearts are so easy to collect in here because the enemies are so weak. It's a nice strategy, and it makes sense to use here. The clue book in the wall is all the way to the right over here, and we're going to have to go all the way over there and then come all the way back. But if this clue book is the red crystal, we're in go mode. So that's what we're hoping. We're hoping this clue book here has the red crystal in it. Another thing that's really nice is that we're not going to have to do Bodley Mansion, and we're not going to have to count on Doina, which is the last town that we come to that has a check in it. David's just going to check this here. It's the silk bag. So nice. Now we have a silk bag, which means we can now carry 8 laurels and 8 garlic, which does come into play, actually. That is a nice thing to have late games, especially when you're going across the last bridge before you get to or the last bridge that's occupied before you get to Drac. It's nice to have there because David's trying to get a boost up that false floor. It's going to be a little tough to do, but yeah. So having those laurels late, you can just basically be invincible for the last portion of the game, which makes get a tie boost with a bat in Berkeley. That would have been epic. I would have quit playing the video game forever. All right, so yeah, take a look there. There's charity info right there that's just got posted there. Take a look, click on those links. Make sure you're following Final Fantasy Randomizer here as well. They do amazing stuff, and they're very active in the community. So thank you all so much for everything that you do, and feel free to keep those donations coming in.
Donations for what? I didn't hear you ask.
Donations for what?
For what? Thank you for asking. Yes, we are doing it. By the way, before I forget, chat, can you hear me better than you could earlier? I assume you can hear me at all since OBS had me muted last time. But, okay, cool. Chat can hear me. I'm so sorry for you. We are doing this marathon all the way through Sunday night. Rather loud now. Okay, we'll take this back a little bit and try to spare you a little bit. All the way through Sunday night, we're running marathon trying to get funds for the Burned Children's Fund out of South Carolina. Quick little thing on what they do is that they're basically supporting development of pediatric burn care treatment, recovery for helping recovery of burned injured children and their families, and burn awareness and fire prevention. That's all you're getting at the moment, other than I'm going to make sure the donate link is slapped into chat there, and then I'm going to mute again because my cat's trying to kill something AFK.
So as you saw right there, I don't know if you perceived it, while David was in Berkeley, he did indeed find that red crystal. So we are now in go mode, folks. If you look at the tracker there off to the right, all 3 crystals, all 3 crystals. We have the magic cross. All 4 of those items are required. You need all 3 crystals. Oh, well, you just need the red crystal, but you trade them as you go. You need to find the 3 crystals. You got to find the magic cross, and then the 5 Drac parts, or technically the 4 Drac parts in the ring. You got the rib, the heart, the eye, the ring, and the nail. That's all you need, and that's what he's got. So he's in go mode now, heading towards the tornado. We'll get to see him take the tornado here, which is cool. I wonder what the tornado is going to look like. Sometimes the tornado sprite can be affected by Simon's palette. So with this being Ghost Simon, I'm curious to see what the tornado looks like. It might just be a white tornado, who knows, but I'm curious to see. But yeah, we're about a minute and a half from the tornado. I did want to mention also, folks, that we're going to be doing one more seed right after this one, since this one's going to be wrapping up here in just about 5 or 6 minutes. And it's going to be a town randomizer seed. Basically, all these towns that we are familiar with and we know the layout of everything, all that stuff is mixed up. We're not going to know where any of this stuff is.
Any idea what sprite we're going to do? Am I going to be running Oscar the Grouch, or?
That's what we're going to talk about here. So I'd like to get the chat's opinion on this. I'm going to give you guys a list of a few sprites that we have available. There's a ton, actually. The community's been going crazy making sprites lately. We got a lot of really, really neat sprites out there. So I'm going to go ahead and type in chat here some sprites that we have available, and you guys can just pick which one you want.
We could even play as a shopping cart.
I'm going to start typing them in the chat now. We're going to go Oscar the Grouch.
Oh, Bree's like, please, no shopping cart.
We have the Mountain Dew Sprite, which is a can of Mountain Dew. Charlie Brown. Snoopy. What's another good one?
We got Birdo.
Yeah, we got Birdo from Mario 2. Birdo from Mario 2.
Lakitu.
All right, got that one in there too.
You can also play as some of the in-game characters too, like the Crystal Trader. Oops.
All right, I have typed them in chat. I gave them several options. You guys can pick any one of those, or if you know of a sprite that you'd like to see, we'll just go with whatever's consensus here. That's what we'll do. Oh, we do have a Samus sprite, yeah. But we do. There is a Samus sprite. There's one with the suit and without the suit.
With or without the power suit.
I'm gonna jump in real quick because we have 2 donations that just popped up. One from the ever-present Danny, who sleeps as much as I'm going to tonight, with $5. Putting it towards the Soul Blazer Randomizer file name bid war, which will be not after this run, but after the next seed. It's the next run, but there's the seed in the next one. It's fun. To name it Aurora. Aurora. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Danny. And then we have an anonymous $25 donation with no message. Keep it up. We're getting close. Next.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for the donations. Really, this community does such a great job, sort of being advocates for our community and for those who are less fortunate. So thank you all very much for your donations, and this is a fantastic cause. So as you can see here, David Amber is now going through a graveyard at night. This is called the Vrad Graveyard. This is the final graveyard we go through. Look at this beautiful screen right here.
You might have missed the DoorDash.
I missed it.
Drop some garlic off at Griselda's house.
Oh, very nice, very nice. This is the last bridge before Drac. There's obviously no enemies on it, and Dracula's Castle. A lot of people misunderstand. They think that the Dracula's Castle is unfinished in this game, but what the creators were trying to convey was a broken, destroyed place that was bereft of life and completely empty of everything. Because this is not an area for you to go in and fight. You're not going in here to fight. The lore of the game that came from the creators of the game was that Simon brought those parts here not to resurrect Dracula, but to burn his body parts in the fire so that it would end the curse. He did not know, and neither did the player at the time, that Dracula would respawn by him burning those parts in the fire. So this mansion is designed to be... Let's see if David can get this floor drop here. Oh, he got a nice floor drop there. He got a single. No big deal. You can actually do a quad drop right there and drop through all 4 floors, but that's a trick. That's a trick and a half. It's 2 frame perfect inputs and 2 frame inputs to get that done. But yeah, this is supposed to be an empty castle, and you're not even supposed to know that Dracula's in here when you're playing the game. You're supposed to just be going in here to burn the parts. But of course, everybody knew it was going to be Dracula. He always comes back, man. He always comes back. There's nothing you can do about it. All right, David, we have our next sprite after you kill Dracula here. David's going to whip Dracula down. 16 whips is all it takes with the flame whip. That's all it takes with that beastie whip right there. And Dracula is toast. GG's at 48 minutes and 5 seconds. Well done, David Amber.
Thank you.
A good, fast, clean seed. We love that. Good start.
So what is the sprite?
It looks like we have 5 votes for CV1 Dracula.
CV1 Dracula. I'm going to have to pull that off the Discord here.
Yep, pull it.
Thank you, everyone, for the GGs in chat and everywhere.
Yeah, thank you guys for the GGs. Wanted to mention here while the stats are getting ready to come up and while we're getting this other seed rolled here is that we're currently in the middle of our Simon Claus tournament. It's our randomizer tournament that we do every year this time of the year called Simon Claus. Obviously, it is a Santa-themed, holiday-themed, winter-themed, Christmas-themed sort of tournament. Santa wears a hat, or Simon wears a hat in the sprites. And that's going on right now. We have a lot of great runners this year. I think we already have 12 or 13 runners this year already. So it's fantastic, and it's growing quickly. So definitely check out the Castlevania 2 Randomizer Twitch page as well. We don't stream very often. We usually when it's a community race or a tournament bracket race. So we don't stream very often, but when we do, it's we bring everybody to the yard. So
do we have a seed name? What a seed name?
Seed name. I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do for a seed name. We are going to go. Sunflash, can you tell me who the last two donations were?
Well, we have, ignoring the anonymous, we can add anonymous, we can go to the last two named ones. Which you want?
Let's go the last two named ones.
We have Danny, D-A-N-I.
D-A-N-I.
And then we have the Seawolf 1.
The Seawolf 1. Danny, the Seawolf 1 is going to be our seed name, folks.
There we go.
Danny with a capital D, with a capital T, C, S-E-A with a capital S, Wolf with a capital W and the number 1.
Yeah, D-A-N-I is how you spell the first part. D-A-N-I. Capital T.
Well, here we go.
All right.
What a seed name.
What a seed name.
This is also going to be unified checks, and it's going to be town rando.
Okay, so there's Danny right there. Welcome. Hey, Danny. Thank you so much for the donation, and you are now part of history forever, as your name has gone down in the books as the seed that was run second on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Castlevania Showcase. We are now doing a town rando, folks. Okay, so remember what we talked about. All the mansions and locations are all going to be mixed up here. You always start in Jova. That's something that always happens. Jova is always the starting town, but Jova could be anywhere. Could be in where Berkeley Mansion is. Could be anywhere. So we're gonna piece that together and map this out as we go. There is the CV1 Dracula sprite there, folks. Done by our community. That was a math teacher guy sprite, wasn't it?
Yes, math teacher guy.
Yeah, math teacher guy sprite.
Diamond.
First check is going to be a diamond here.
He plays differently.
Well, he's a giant vampire, David. He's not going to play the same as a vampire hunter. Look at that. Yeah, David Amber also has his own sprite, by the way. I think 2 different versions of David Amber now exist.
We also have an Opry 99er sprite, too.
Yeah, well, they need to be able to see it.
We got the dagger. Oh my goodness. Terrible start.
Three sub-weapons, right? It's crazy.
2 of them are junk.
See if Dracula can do a floor drop here. There we go. Ondel start, eh? Okay, we have an Ondel start. So you guys remember where we were earlier at the tornado, right? That town right before the tornado. Well, that's where our starting town is now. Jova, the starting town of Jova, is right by the tornado now, it makes for an interesting seed for routing because remember we have the warp capability where we can just warp back to town. So David could technically, if he wanted to, start on this side of the map, do everything if he finds the items in the right order, and just walk all the way to Drac from here and do all the checks linear. Now that's not often possible, but it would be fascinating to see. Oh, the nice critical hit right there. Got a crit kill on that enemy. So crits in this game work kind of interestingly. In this game, if your sub weapon, what we got here, Veros. You got the town of Veros here. Very nice. If your sub-weapon disappears, if the last moment that it exists, it's overlapping the edge of an enemy sprite, it will crit that sprite and do like 160 damage to it. So we can use that in killing the bosses too a lot, for killing Death and for killing Dracula. So this is the town of Veros, and it's right here in the spot that normally has Alba. Remember that really tall town from the last seed? That's where this one is now. David's in a good spot right now because he's grinding these zombies down, and this is a level 2 zone. You cannot grind up enemies enemies in the starting town up to any level past level 1. So this being a level 2 zone is actually fantastic. He just grabbed his level 1 right there. He's going to continue grinding. He's building hearts here, and he's getting experience. One interesting quirk in Castlevania 2 is that killing enemies does not give you experience. The only way you gain experience is by picking up their hearts, and only if you're in a zone that is ranked above the level you're at. So if you're at level 2 and you're in a level 2 zone, you can collect hearts all you want, but you won't get a single piece of experience. Whereas if you're a level 2 and you're in a level 3 zone, you will get experience and hearts, if that makes sense. So David's in a perfect spot right now. Early game in Veros, grinding up to level 2 and building up his heart count for the possible checks upcoming. One bad thing about Veros, I did want to mention this. Both checks in this town are blocked. You cannot do them without a block breaker. You cannot do them without holy water, and you cannot do them without a nail. So you need one of those two to do the checks in this town. One of the checks in this town can be done with the nail. The other one has to be done with holy water, which we don't have either right now. So, all right, Dracula 1, CV1 Dracula here, just kind of cruising right along. Bonk, one bonk. And there's the level up. So David now at level 2, which is a great place to be. Now he's going to come up on the river here from the other side. So he's now on the other side of the river here. And this is the dead river, so he's going to be heading over towards where we normally would start. Oh, he's trying to get a crit kill on that mummy, but he couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't quite get far enough out. Oh, that's sad. This is going to be a challenge getting across this river. We didn't have a problem in the last seed, but this seed here, being early game without a whip and that mummy being right there, this is going to be a challenge to get through here, especially at night. So a mechanic we didn't talk about in the last seed was that in this game, nicely done. In this game, at night, enemies are twice as powerful. They take twice as many HP. They have twice as much HP. So oftentimes what you can do during the day is tough to do at night. David Amber, of course, is an expert, so he got through there very, very well. There's lots of ways to get through that little mini game, and the good runners know all of them. They know all the little tricks. All right, you got across the swamp without dying. His head keeps disappearing. Just like in the end of CV1. I love it. So he's going to take a death right there. That is, I believe, going to be his first death of the seed. So that's fantastic. So now he's coming up to what would normally
I had the ones on the river, but...
Oh, yeah. So we're coming up to what now would normally be the starting town. This is where you would normally start, but instead we get the dead town of Yomi. So this is a dead town. There's not a lot here. Honestly, we haven't found a whole lot yet, but the way this is kind of working out is not bad. So this is the very center of the sort of main part of the map. We're gonna go in here and see Griselda. This is Dracula's girlfriend right there. She wants to live here together. Yeah. So Yomi being right here, we wouldn't really want to have to come back here anyway if it was something that we needed. So for the fact that it's Yomi, we don't have to go back there is actually nice. We probably will have to go back and do Veros again once we have a block breaker, but that's on the other side of the river and is close to our starting town, so we can literally just warp there. So as you can see, the enemies got much easier over here. This is now a level 1 zone, so he can no longer collect any experience here. He's only collecting hearts. Don't set any body parts on fire without Sunflash, all right, guys? All right, this is the Bridge of Minor Inconvenience. As you can see, it is minor. It is a minor inconvenience to cross, and that's about it. As opposed to the Bridge of Doom, which is the last bridge we cross before the red graveyard. All right, lots of hearts here. David's picking up tons of hearts, which is good because if he finds something he can go buy, if he finds a town where he can buy something or a mansion or something, he'll want to have those hearts. So this is going down. Remember, Varos was over there next to the starting town. Well, this is where Varos normally is, down here at the bottom. We're going to see what's down here now. Okay, this is the mansion of Rover, which is good. This is the one that's normally underground. Oh, yeah, this is Rover. Okay. This is the one that's normally underwater, I mean. So this is actually a good place to be. He won't be able to do any of the clue checks. He won't be able to do the orb check, but he does have the ability to talk to this vendor down here. And the vendor may very well have a block breaker or may very well have an oak stake for us. So if he does, then this makes logical sense to do this. It is right here. We really haven't seen a whole lot, so this is what makes the most sense right now, is just to come in here. Even though we're coming in here and we may be leaving with next to nothing and have to revisit it later, this is really the only choice we got at this point, where we just haven't seen anything yet. So here's our vendor. We're hoping he has a block breaker or an oak stake. That's what we really want to see here. He has the rib, which is nice. It gives us that shield we talked about, and it is a required body part. However, it is not progression for us. So right now we're lacking progression. We don't have a block breaker. We don't have an oak stake. So we can't do any of the clue checks that could be items, the unified checks, and we can't do any orbs yet. So that's a little bit of a challenge here, but I think we're gonna find some stuff. He's gonna head up next to the spot that normally has Berkeley Mansion, and we're gonna see what's there. So I'm actually making a map as we go. I'm writing it all down as I make these little paper maps where I draw out the layout of Transylvania with the primary focus being the towns and the mansions, and then I'll just write in where stuff is. So he is now in the Varos spot, which is Rover, trying to get up these stairs. And these stairs are not going to be very kind to him. Those floating skulls do not want him to get up those stairs. And because he does not have a whip upgrade yet, he's only working on the leather whip. Because of that, he can't whip them while he's on the stairs, and he can't shoot the dagger at them because they don't come at him at the correct angle. So he had to get them out of the way, kill them, and then did not collect their hearts. If you notice, he did not collect those hearts. You're like, why didn't he collect those hearts? They were literally right there. Well, in Simon's Quest, an enemy cannot respawn if its heart is still on screen. So if you leave the enemy's heart there, he cannot respawn. So if David did not want those floating skulls to respawn, he decided not to collect their hearts, and that's why he was able to get up those stairs. So nice little quirks that you learn when you run the game. Okay, interesting. This is tough. This is the Mansion of Laruba. Remember earlier I was talking about the hardest mansion in the game for enemies? Well, he's now here in the toughest mansion because it's on this side of the map. Because
it's unified checks, so I actually don't mind doing an early Laruba.
Yeah.
With unified checks.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason he's saying that is that there's no clues in this mansion that you're going to have to come back for. And the clues being, there's 3 clues in Berkeley, and there's 2 clues in Rover, and there's 2 clues in Brahms. You don't want to do those mansions in a unified check seat without a block breaker because, it puts you in a spot to where you may have to go back and redo those checks again. So he's now here. He's got a decent level. He's at level 2, so his defensive capabilities are decent, but he's got a leather whip, which means he's going to have to whip that skeleton right there 32 times or hit him with a dagger 16 times to kill him. For vanilla HP. Of course, the HP is randomized here too, but that's what it's looking like to me. That is a tanky fellow. So hopefully he has a decent enemy set. He can get through here and get up to the vendor before he loses lives and hearts. In the vanilla game, if you take a game over, you lose all of your hearts and all of your experience. Well, in the randomizer, we deemed that was a little bit too tough, I guess, too penalizing. So we made it half. So you lose half your hearts, you lose half your experience when you take a game over. Now this gargoyle is trying to troll David here. He's trying to kill him before he gets to this vendor. He turned around and used his he's got an oak stake. Perfect. So that's a vanilla oak steak. That guy normally has an oak steak. Yeah, he's taking a death right there. Dead, dead, dead. So the nice thing about this is that he's going to be able to do a couple of things now. He's going to be able to do that orb check like we talked about. And he's going to be able to grab another oak steak before he leaves this mansion so that he can do another mansion that pops back up. He may actually go back and do Rover downstairs again. For all we know, he finds an oak or a block breaker in here. He might do that. So we found the heart there. That'll allow him to access that other area through the Dead River. So that's actually a nice progression find. He's going to come down here now and he'll check this orb, hoping the orb is going to have a block breaker or a whip. Otherwise, this boss here is going to take 240 whips to kill. That is going to be fun to watch. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Okay, we got the eyeball, which is another Drac part. So we now have 3 of the Drac parts. David is now going to whip Carmella 240 times. You can count if you want to at home. This takes some pretty significant finger gymnastics to be able to do this efficiently. David will lock into a rhythm here, and you'll see 8 to 10 hits at a time, sometimes even more. But 8 to 10 hits in a cycle.
Hard to get the 8s though with the leather whip.
Yeah, it's tough. 8s aren't too bad, but getting the 10s are tough.
Yeah.
So because David has the rib equipped, as you can see, it's blocking those projectiles. So this is a very safe fight with the position he's in. She's not going to pose much of a threat. The only threat that she could pose is if he makes a mistake and jumps into her body and bodies her, or if he turns around and lets a fireball hit him from behind, which he's not going to do. But that's the only way she can effectively hurt you at this point. If you have the rib, that's the only way she can really do damage. So this is a safe fight, but it's still 240 whips. So if you need to go make a turkey sandwich or something or anything like that, this would be a good time to do that. It's going to be about a minute and a half, I'm guessing. But she'll drop something, and she could be very trolly and drop a clue or something like that. We don't know, but then again, she could have the holy water, which opens up most of the map to us. So we're hoping for a block breaker or more progression, a block breaker or garlic or something like that. Something that, will be even better is if it's a required item like a crystal.
Well, while we are letting the leather whipping commence at painful speeds, I do have a $10 donation here from Scarcer saying, make Steve's name in the Need for Steve race Speeve. Speeve. Scarcer, you probably don't know. I can't pronounce things for anything anyway, so now I'm just triple guessing myself on the pronunciation for Steve with a B. I hope I got it right.
Or is it Steve B? Or it could just be Speeve.
Well, it's S-B-E-V-E.
Speed. That sounds like me.
Sure.
Sounds perfect to me. Thank you so much for the donation. We will get that request processed there. Y'all make sure you're continuing to send those donations in here. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. Love to see it for the cause here. So David Amber's getting close to finishing this fight here. He's been very efficient with his whipping thus far, as you can see. This would take a lesser person significantly longer. But David is he's the Canadian whip master. He pretty darn good at this Carmella fight, I do say. We're hoping that she drops a block breaker. That's the biggest thing we'd like to see here. The nail or the holy water would be great, but anything required will be good enough.
I'm now regretting that I don't have a Whip It soundboard.
Whip It soundboard.
I've got so many options, dude.
Okay, Carmella drops a clue telling us about a clue. That's unfortunate.
Oh, no.
Well, at least you got to make a sandwich, So David Amber's leaving here, not empty-handed. He was able to get the eyeball here, which is great. But unfortunately, no whip and no block breaker yet. So he's going to continue on with his trek across Transylvania. Transylvania trek, if you will. Oh, that's unfortunate, that blob. So those blobs right there, their movement is entirely RNG. And it's based off seeds that you have no control over. There's no way to manip those guys, really.
That sucks.
So sometimes they just do stupid stuff and knock you off stairs. All right, going over here to grab this oak steak here before we leave town. We'll see how David wants to route this thing. We might be seeing another blob boost here. Who knows? Curious where David's going right now. Interesting route to take. He's going to grab a clue is what he's going to do with that eyeball. So remember that clue we looked at the cliff before? He's going to grab that now because he has the eyeball. And with the eyeball, remember, we can allow us to see things. He grabs laurels, which is actually a nice find. He'll probably go off screen and respawn them because you want to get as many laurels as you can. There you go. He's got 2 sets of laurels now. Congratulations. All right, so we now have laurels, so he now does have the ability to do a blob boost if he so chooses. He could do that blob boost all over again to take us out of logic and do that whole thing all over again. We could see that. He has the laurels now, so he can cross the swamp if he chooses to, and then come at this map from the other direction. So he might change his entire direction of the routing at this point. He could be going east to west versus going west to east. We're starting on the farthest west part of the map that we can possibly get to, and he may be routing himself in to come at this thing from the other side. So we'll see what he does here.
Not doing that.
He's not doing that. He's going to be going the normal way. Okay.
Well, remember we picked up the heart, right? So.
Yep, we did. We picked up the heart. So what he's going to do with that heart here is use it on the river to talk to the ferryman and get that other path. It takes us to what is normally the Brahms location, where normally Brahms would be there, but Brahms will not be there more than likely. It is possible to have vanilla locations, but it is unlikely. It happens not necessarily infrequently, but it's certainly not something I would count on. If I was a betting man, I would bet that Brahms is not going to be in the Brahms spot. So he's going to go to the river here and do his thing. Trying to get that crit kill. Ooh, nice. Those crit kills are sweet if you can line them up. And those plants are perfect for them because they're tanky. They take a lot of hits. But they're stationary, and your dagger range is outside of their range of radar. So they're not shooting at you if you're at the proper spot to do the crit. So David going to heal up here in the church. Might grind a few hearts here. We don't know. Varos is always tempting to grind hearts in. It's easy free hearts. Unfortunately, these townspeople at night, they like to get in the way. They have no fear of getting waxed during a zombie/vampire hunter fight. Although, they may be looking at Dracula's sprite here and just saying, "Hey, it's our boss. Welcome. What's up?" This might be an advantage playing as this guy. Enemies will be nicer to you. Mummies right here. There's actually a good place to find mummies too. If he gets a whip and chooses ever to grind up to level 3, he'll have a nice spot to do it right there on the river. All right, back to this fun game here, but he has laurels now. So having laurels, as you can see, is a huge benefit. The invincibility is fantastic. Right. Now he's going to switch over to the heart, and you're going to go see what is over there. Could be a town, could be a mansion, but either way, he is going to have access to the guy on the mountain, the guy that normally gives the diamond in the vanilla game. Remember that fun platforming we were doing earlier on those moving platforms? We're going to be doing that again here in just a moment. Okay, it's the town of Ondel. So Ondel has one open available check for us. We can go to the very top here, and there is an open check. There's another check that's blocked by a block breaker, but we do have this one check we can do here, and then we can also go and do the check on the mountain as well. Nice floor drop, and we'll go see. Hopefully it's a block breaker. That's what we want to see, a block breaker. Whip wouldn't be bad here, but we really want to see a block breaker. Okay, we'll take a whip. David's now, offensive power is now doubled, but what that does, unfortunately, is, maybe not unfortunately necessarily, but it does make the dagger less important because the dagger does 2 HP per hit, and now so does that whip. So he can still use the dagger for crits and things like that, but the advantage of using that dagger has been reduced slightly over using the whip as well. So we're going to head over and do the check on the mountain here. Really, really hoping to find block breakerage over here. Either the nail or the holy water. Fun platforming there. Yeah, that's correct. The dagger's not weaker than it was before, but the advantage that you had using it. Unfortunately, what I was trying to say is that the double HP strength of your sub weapon is no longer in effect. It no longer is double your XP, and now is the same, or HP. It now does the same HP of damage. The doubling does not increase or does not continue up with the progression of the whip. Okay, we got one crystal, which is okay. So we did find a crystal. Now David's got to be thinking, what next? I think I know what he's doing. What he's going to do. I think he's trying to fight against the urge to do what I think he's going to do.
Yeah, I'm still not getting the right price to blob boost right now with Rover out there.
Got it. Makes perfect sense.
A little slow this way, but I think it's the right move. We now have 3 checks open that we didn't have before.
Yep, with the eyeball. All right, so as David heads here back towards the river, he'll have to cross the river again. As he heads back that direction. I did want to also mention that we do have a Discord as well where you can download the different sprites that have been developed by the community. And I will link in chat here. Oh, there you go. Final Fantasy already linked it right there. Very nice. Beautiful. You can go right there to the Discord, and you can also go to that link right there. That is the link for the standard site. The one I'm going to post now is the beta site. That is where you can upload a sprite that you download from the Discord. You can just take the file that you download and upload it directly right there onto the beta site and roll a seed with your sprite of your choosing. And we have, there's probably 40, 50 sprites that have been put out in the last year or so. Some of them are mean. Yeah.
Sorry, can you send me that link? It looks like the moderation tools blocked you.
Oh, sure.
Trying to find
moment.
my...
I will have to find... Is there a chat here?
Here, let me send you a... Oh, caps lock was on.
All right, David Amber now heading back. Now heading back over towards Rover Mansion, which is down in the Veros spot, and he'll do the the clue checks there, and he will do the orb as well because he now has an oak stake. Okay. All right, Sunflash is now going to post this into the chat now because it wouldn't let me do it. Perfect. We are in good shape now. Yeah, so you can actually download the sprite files from the Discord there, and then just go to that beta site and then make your own seeds right there. It's a lot of fun and it's very easy to do. It's very self-explanatory. Pick the sprite of your choosing. There's also several default sprites available on the beta site right now. You can get on there and use many of the different ones they've got on there, or you can use a custom one that we've built recently. Some of them are funny meme sprites. Some of them are silliness. Some of them are some of them are really, 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 really well done. So you'll get a sense of with the kind of stuff that we do. We would like to have fun and make silly things sometimes, and they're a lot of fun to run as. But as somebody who loves to do floor drops, as you can see, David can pull off a floor drop with any of these. But you probably want to find something that's got a basic look, the normal Simon's feet to make your platforming good. But either way, yeah, definitely check it out there. And there's also, Orange mentions in chat, we've seen our standard seed now, and we've seen a town rando seed. There's also map rando. There's also door rando. There's all kinds of different flags that can be done. There's all different settings that you can do. It's pretty comprehensive. Any kind of rando you might want to do in this thing, we've got. There's even wardrobe rando, which you can take a sprite like Dracula here, click on the wardrobe rando feature, and you can see him. You can see him in purple if you want, or pink. It's a rando. It'll randomize the color. But yeah. So anyway, there's lots of fun there. Please go to the site and bookmark it if you ever want to start running some CV2 rando. We have a really vibrant community in the Discord, and here on Twitch as well. There's a lot of people running CV2 rando here on Twitch, and if you ever want to check it out, you can follow the Castlevania 2 Randomizer channel here on Twitch. Go to the Discord and follow that. Or you can follow David Amber right there. He's got David_Amber is the guy you're watching run right now. He streams Castlevania 2 Rando very frequently. He's knowledgeable about it and always willing to listen to questions. He's working on some randomizer tutorial stuff from what I understand. Definitely somebody that you want to utilize as a resource if you're interested in this rando at all. So he's going to turn on the eyeball and see that clue, and it's a crystal. So now he has a blue crystal, which is great news. The blue crystal here is now going to allow him to drain the lake that we saw earlier and go see what's downstairs there. All right, so now we're in the orb room. He's going to pull this oak stake out, stab this orb here, and we're going to see what this thing has for us. Let's take a quick look here. And it's the ring. So it is another required part, another required Dracula part. He's going to try to do a floor drop here, and he'll do the clue check that's down there as well. And unfortunately went all the way through. Already purchased the rib. Going to take a death right there, and that's going to jack his sub-pixel up.
That's bad. So bad.
Should have dropped down the other side, dog.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to get a floor drop here. So if you lose the sub-pixel, sometimes you can force it. Like, why didn't it go to the other side? He can force the floor drop there. So now he's down. He's got one more check to do here, but actually found some good stuff here. We now have progression with that blue crystal. It's not a block breaker, but it definitely helps. And there's going to be a clue available to us here as well with the eyeball. And it tells us that one of the Berkeley clues is also a clue. So that's not a great clue, but it's a clue. It's a clue about a clue, essentially. All right, David does the purple block trick, wrong warp right there. That warps him to the front of the mansion, and then he probably takes a bath in the drink there.
Yeah, these feet.
Yeah, the feet. Yeah, what feet? You don't see any feet.
It's a lack thereof.
All right, so with the blue crystal, we're going to see David head to the right here. Also is going to be able to grab the clue that is on the floor outside of Dobby's path. That'll be available to him as well. And that could be anything. As I said earlier, we are running the unified checks. What's that?
Could even be a boat.
Could even be a boat. That's right. Hey, math teacher guy, have a great one. Thank you. Go ahead and roll that nap rando and enjoy. The missing nose. Yeah, we do have a missing nose sprite. I forgot about that. I love that missing nose sprite. So there is a book hidden in the floor up here that David's going to be able to check. So if that has a block breaker, we'll be happy. We're 32 minutes into the seed with no block breaker right now. You start to wonder who the hell rolled this seed.
It's always amazing that I find that sometimes you have one seed and then the next seed is like the opposite in many regards. We had Holy Water first check last seed.
Yeah, we did. All right, here's the book, and he gets laurels, which is not a terrible find, but not a great find. Keep in mind here, there's still some stuff David hasn't seen that's still in logic. We are going to drain this lake and possibly find the red crystal down there. We also have not seen the algebra spot yet to see what is there. There are garlic checks we've not been able to do because we've not found garlic yet, but he's going to go ahead and, I guess, drain the lake first here. See what is downstairs.
Yeah, I normally do it the other way around. I just have a feeling like we might find garlic, and I don't want to have to bounce back and forth.
Yeah. So if he goes down here and he finds garlic, what that's going to do when he goes and he's going to continue off to the east. So we were heading right this whole time. He's going to, after he comes out of here, he's going to head right to where algebra normally is, and off to the right there we saw in the last seed. There's a graveyard where you drop garlic to get an item. So if he finds garlic down here, that opens up that check, which is super sweet. We would prefer to find a block breaker, but garlic would be the next best thing. Or a whip. Whip wouldn't hurt either. Or then, yeah. Red crystal would suck, but that's okay. We don't want to find the red crystal yet. Let's find a block breaker first. All right, we drained the lake, and now we find the town of Algebra.
Yeah, that's probably what I didn't want to find, but...
Yeah, so the town of Algebra here is a great place to find. There's a clue book here, there's 2 vendors here, and there's a free crystal guy upstairs. And it's a
only
wonderful...
one problem.
It's only one problem. You have to have holy water to do those checks. So we don't have holy water, unless this guy up here, Alan Jibba, if this guy up here has the holy water, then this is a great find. But
garlic or holy water, let's go.
Yep. I would like to see holy water here more than anything, but garlic or nail would be okay too. What do we got?
That is
laurels.
If that had been laurels.
That's not good.
Well, you know what is good?
What's that?
We have a $32 donation from, I'm going to screw this up, Near Dad TPC, who says, love to see gamers gaming for a good cause. And good luck to all the runners this week. So,
excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate the donation.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, good stuff.
That puts us, chat, about $30 out from $2,000. Wow. So if it's in the budget, throw another $5-10 here and there. We'll get the 2,000 real quick.
We can get that $2,000, can't we, chat? We can do that. We'll do that before the seed's over.
What a seed name.
What a seed name. All right, David Amber takes death right there. He's now going to head over to the algebra spot. We're going to see what's there.
I think I picked wrong.
What's that?
I think I picked wrong.
It's all right. We'll see. Maybe you didn't pick wrong. Maybe this whole thing is... Maybe you'll get red crystal over here and then everything changes.
I think it's going to be Berkeley. Oh, no.
All right, so this is the town of Alba. One other great place to be. There's 2 wonderful vendor checks here and then a free guy who normally gives you a crystal. There's just one problem. You can only access them with block breakers, except for the free guy. So with this free guy, this free guy here may have
what the crystal.
Need.
Oh,
it's holy water. Yes. Okay. Finally.
I did pick wrong, but whatever.
All right. So now we got some stuff open to us. The whole map opens up now. So we're going to do 2 checks here in this town. Holy water's going to bust out that wall. Let's see what we got here. A whip. We like to see that. Let's take that whip. Yeah, love it. We may choose to grind a few hearts here downstairs. That was not a cheap whip. So he'll probably grind up a few hearts here and then head upstairs, because once you get upstairs, the grind is not quite as good. So might as well get him down here. And I'm not sure how far you are from level 3, or if you're already level 3. I don't think you are.
Ways away.
Yeah, so we could potentially grind level 3. The thing is, he was at max hearts there. He was at 256 hearts because we haven't been able to buy anything. So it didn't do him any good for hearts to continue collecting anything, but now we've spent 150 on a whip, and we're getting close to leveling up to level 3, which both of those things are good. You have a chain whip, level 3, you're in great shape, especially with a block breaker in the pocket now. So I think we're going to see David do this check here, and then depending on what he gets here, he may go back down to algebra right after this, drain the lake again. We'll see. So David only needs 3 more items to finish this seed. He needs the red crystal, which is guaranteed to be close to here, or at least on this side of the map. He needs the nail, which is the last Dracula body part, and then he needs the magic cross. So once those 3 things are found, we're going to be in go mode here as well. So this seed was particularly challenging with its item placement, but I think being here now in the position that we're in, I think we can see the.
Yeah, I think you're count your chickens a little too soon. We're gonna find a red crystal soon, and then it's gonna be all open map.
That's okay. That's okay. Red crystal here wouldn't be bad. Garlic, hey, that's even better. So now that we have the garlic, we can do the 2 garlic checks that we had talked about before in the 2 graveyards. One of them, happily, is right next door to this town. So he'll go downstairs, walk off to the right, and be able to do another free check. So fantastic. So Alba was a great place. We got ourselves some garlic. We got ourselves some holy water here and a whip. This is about the best town you could possibly hope for.
Be interesting is if I get the red crystal now in the graveyard.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that evil on you, so I'm not going to say anything until I see it. But if it happens, it'll be intriguing.
Yeah, because then I'll have all sorts of gambles I could take.
We shall see. We shall see what we find. If it is red crystal here in this check, it will be a compelling decision.
I actually don't think it's the right price to just go. Silfags and a book in bronze, okay?
Yeah, I like Algebra and Veros is what I'm liking here.
Yeah. And Dobby's Path.
Yeah, Algebra, Dobby's Path, and then Warp to Veros. That's what I would probably do in this particular situation. So what we're discussing right now, as we talked about, that red crystal is what allows us to take the tornado, and we're out of logic until we have it if we go anywhere over across that swamp. So the idea here would be if we can find one of those other items, if we find either the cross or the nail on this side of the map, because we are going to find the red crystal on this side of the map, one way or another, it's going to be here. So if we find either the cross or the nail, I guess he's not going down. We're going to Dobby's Path first. That makes sense.
Finding the red crystal could be a blessing and a curse, right? Because you need it to finish, and once you have it, you can progress to the other side of the map. But if there's a lot left, and you get the red crystal early, it could mean that you've got to go all over, crisscross all over the map to find your last few items.
Yep. Yeah, so technically we would like for red crystal to come as late as possible here. A clue is sealed in so that's good information. So if he finds Bodley Mansion, he will not need to take an oak stake into Bodley Mansion because there's a clue in the orb, not a required item. So that's good to know. Now in a position to go back down to Algebra. Remember we were down there a minute ago and didn't have the holy water. Well, we're going to go back down there. We're going to get the holy water checks. There's 2 checks plus a clue check, so there's 3 technical potential checks in that town, and we don't have information on any of them. So that could be, after this town, we could be in go mode. It could be red crystal, cross, and nail down here. It's unlikely, but it's possible. So we are potentially moments from go mode, but more than likely we are. I'm hoping that we find red crystal and maybe the nail in here. That would be amazing. Then if you only have the cross left, it's a pretty easy decision on what to do.
I think we find I think we're gonna find the red crystal in Veros.
That would be awesome. If you find the red crystal in Veros, find something else down here, that'd be great. CV1 Dracula here attempting to save some frames. With a floor drop and saves all the frames. Look how much time was saved there. That's amazing. Saves so much time. It's ridiculous how much
That
time.
is the Opry special right there.
You gotta save those frames, bro. You gotta save them. All right, first check right here in this door. Gonna break a floor here, which we couldn't do before because we didn't have the holy water. Now we're gonna break that floor. We're gonna see what our dude has down here. David with a nice floor drop there. Golden knife, not of interest at this point. It's nice to have, but with it being so expensive, if you spend 150 something hearts on a golden knife right now, and there's a required item in the next vendor that you can't afford, you're going to be very angry, since you are down here under a lake and there's no place to grind right now. So we'll check this clue book down here, which in unified checks is going to have potentially a clue, potentially an item. We will see what's there. And then we have one more check in this town before we can move on about our business. Crystal free in Vrad Mountain. We knew that. That was our first crystal that we got. Let's see the nail here. That would be wonderful. Nail for 89. That's what I'm feeling. Nail for 89 hearts. That's what I want to see.
For 115.
You would say cross for 115? I'm thinking nail 89. 89 heart nail. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, what do we got? Silver knife. Unfortunate. That's okay, because we have 2 checks in Varos we're going to go do. Actually, 3, because one of them, we have a clue book in Varos as well. So we'll have 3 checks in Varos to do. We are going to find the red crystal there, and then we can either tornado or blob boost.
Well, you know what's even better?
What's that? I imagine we got closer to our goal.
Oh, yeah, that we did. I've forgotten how to pronounce your name, M2. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mishtu, yep, has donated $30 and says, it's been a great Castlevania 2 showcase, but there was one tiny problem. We were $30 short of breaking 2K, so here's $30.
Oh, man, that's
Put
so
it into
awesome.
Warmech. Mashama. Okay, that's correct. Thank you. I knew the moment I'd see the pronunciation, I'd remember it. Thank you very much, Mashama.
Wow,
That puts us
congratulations.
at 2,000, and as you can already see on the tracker, someone, I bet it's either Danny or Fizzle, has already bumped us up to the next goal level of 3,000. We have done 2,000 before we have done this marathon in 24 hours. So well done, chat. Well done.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Good job, Chad. That's so cool. They already hit the first goal. 3K is the next goal. We are in a marathon, so there's plenty of time. But there's no time like the present, folks. So if you feel like getting a donation in, this would be a wonderful time to do so. David Amber now entering the town of Varos, which he was not able to do the checks in earlier. Now having that holy water, he will break this wall here. And we'll see what this vendor's got for us. Oak steak, that's actually a pretty good find here. Grab that oak steak, it's nice to have, in case we have to do another mansion. And there's one more.
Bodley in the Laruba spot.
Yeah, bodily orb is not required though, right? It had laurels in
Right.
it, or a clue or something unneeded. But there's two other items here, or 2 other checks, quote unquote. There's a clue book and a vendor down here in this room, so he's gonna have to break the floor in this room. And then we'll get these 2 other ones. One of them, it has to be the red crystal. One of them has to be. I don't think we've faded anything. Magic crosses
One
in a book
Bodley.
and Bodley. Where's the red crystal, David?
Graveyard Duck or Ondel?
It's got to be Ondel. Graveyard Duck had a. The Graveyard Duck had something. Well, that was
I
that
think you're
last
having some
season.
seed bleed.
I'm seed bleeding now.
Yeah, I think that was last.
Okay, so either Graveyard Duck or Ondel. That's good to know. So Graveyard Duck is going to be our next stop, I imagine.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're going to head down to the Story-Goey Graveyard is what it's called. USA versus Canada. Awesome. We love that battle. We'll take that battle all the time. Hockey, I'll take you guys. We'll take Canada on hockey. Probably not in Canadian bacon making, though. you guys are pretty good at that. And Pabst Blue Ribbon is pretty good too. Labatt Blue is another good Canadian beer. I guess it's good. I don't know. Molson, that's another Canadian one, I think. David's going down to the Storygoy Graveyard, and he's going to do a garlic check, and we might do a blob boost. We'll see. This is a sub-pixel dependent floor drop here. He does not have a setup for it. He's just trying to brute force it in. We'll see if he gets it. He should get it. We'll see.
This is my favorite one. Usually very forgiving, but today it doesn't want to.
That's all right. Gonna go ahead and take the walk.
Shame.
We're gonna walk of shame over here. We have to take the stairs like humans. Clearly, you're a vampire, and you should be able to. Oh, there we go. Nice little floor drop there. All right, going downstairs to the graveyard. Okay, so we are looking for an enemy to boost off of. Even if we don't boost, it's nice to know they're here. I think we saw a skull back there. I haven't seen another one yet. We'll see if there's more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we do have a good boost enemy if we choose to boost.
I could do an old-fashioned blob boost.
You could, yeah, for sure. Boost off an actual blob. All right, what do we got? Death guards some garlic, so it's an Ondel. Wow. Okay, well. That leads me to believe that, let's see, what's outstanding? Doina's outstanding. Brahms is outstanding.
Bodley's outstanding.
Oddly's outstanding.
And, Yomi?
No, Yomi was in Jova.
Now I'm seed bleeding.
Yeah, Yomi's in Jova.
Yeah, I didn't really put anything in my tracking tool, so.
Yeah, I should have been tracking better too, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. I'm gonna keep pretending like I know what I'm talking about, and we're gonna get through this thing as a group chat. Hope you guys are cool with that. Poutine Land. That sounds good. It's pronounced Canadia. Oh, I'm sorry, Canadia. My bad. I'll get it right, folks. I'll get it right, chat. I promise. All right, so no blob boost and swamp walk for David this time. Ooh, that was a tough hit.
Son of a bitch.
The pirate ghost got him.
You know,
All right, nicely done.
speaking of seed bleed, I almost said ghost on ghost violence, and I just realized we're Dracula, so...
Yeah, we're Drac.
Chat, it's not even 1 o'clock local time, and I'm already this tired.
Oh
I'm gonna
man.
run another seed after this. It's the Simon Claus weekly seed's gonna be coming out soon.
Oh yeah, you got to run that too. All right, I think this is literally our last check over here for the red crystal. I think this
Yeah,
it
we've
has to be.
100%ed it pre-tornado.
So this is the last check. It will be red crystal, and then we'll warp and take the tornado probably, or he may do a blob boost. Who knows? Either way, we got to warp.
I mean, I probably should do the boost. The reason why is that Bodley is probably in the Laruba spot.
Yeah, I would probably boost here, but you can do any number of things. Taking the tornado is not a bad idea. You might find Bodley. Or
I think if all I was looking for was Bodley, I would be, I'd be progressively sweeping across. But because there's some other possibilities, I'm gonna take a look here first. So Doina, Brahms, Bodley.
All right, we found Doina. There's one check here for us. It's a free check, or not free, but it's an open check. Let's see what this guy's got. We're hoping for cross here. Or was it nail? Which one was in the bodily book? I can't remember. One of these two required items was in the bodily book.
The cross is in the bodily book.
Gotcha.
I think I'm gonna have to walk across to Laruba. I mean, if I were in a race right now and I thought I was behind, I might just push right. But there's a couple checks this way. Plus,
yeah, I would definitely check these two. I would definitely check these two for sure. So a couple checks coming up here. You have the guy that normally gives you the flame whip in the vanilla game. He's down here under this lake. And then you have a clue book over here buried in the ground over in the devious woods, which is just to the left of here. And you'll be able to check that clue book, which could also be an item there as well. So we just want to find the nail. We want to find the nail, and that's what we're looking for right now. We find the nail, it makes this interesting. Give us the nail. Now give us a clue. Okay. Well, there's a clue book right to the left of here. We'll grab that. And then I would imagine that if that is not the nail, then David's going to head left instead of right.
Yeah, I think the safe move is to go left. If I really want to gamble, I just would give up past, turn right around here, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
All right, the clue is right there underneath David's feet right now, or Dracula's feet, excuse me. All right, it's a clue, so I guess he's going to head left here.
I think I'm going to find Brahms, to be honest.
So he's got laurels here, which is nice, but hopefully we'll find laurels where we're going. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult getting back across the swamp. Well, he's got 4, so it should be.
Well, I'm gonna end up tornadoing out of here anyway,
Okay.
and I believe there were laurels at the tornado, weren't there?
I think there were, yes. All right, we have a mansion, and it is Brahms.
I mean, it's not terrible. There's
No,
a
it's a
good
good find.
chance that the item is here.
Yeah, I think the nail's here. That's what I believe. I believe the nail's here, and I believe you're going to find Bodley in the Doina spot. That's what
I hope you're right, but I think this is going to be a Brahms being a bust. I think we already know that the something here is forgotten now, but something here is not necessary. Silk bag, I think.
Yeah. Is Berkeley still open in this one too? I know we did Berkeley in the last seed.
No, we haven't done Berkeley. Yeah, Berkeley's also potentially in play.
All right, so 3 mansions. So hopefully we find an oak stake here.
And that's like, there's 5 clues in here, there's 5 clues in Berkeley,
Yeah.
and there's 1 clue in Bodley that that could be useful to us.
All right. So we're going to see a clue book check. Skip the top clue book for now. We'll come back to it, I reckon. Laurels are in a book in Joma Marsh. Is that what it said?
Jam Wasteland.
Oh, Jam Wasteland. Okay.
Jam Wasteland hype in the chat.
Jam Wasteland hype in the chat. We knew that. Let's see what's here. Oak stake. Fantastic. It's good to find that oak stake here. That's going to put us in a good spot.
Yeah, we'll use it for Berkeley if we need.
We really want to find. I'm gonna do a little floor drop here. Remember, he got the death drop in the last one. Let's see if he gets it here with these weird Dracula feet. Oh, we got it. Nice. Got the Morning Star here. It'd be 16 whips to kill death if you wanted to. Show us the nail. Show us the nail. Clue. Gonna try a dagger crit on death here. So we're gonna have to kill this 120 HP enemy with 1 swing of the dagger. And more garlic. Nicely done. Good crit, David. All right, so we're gonna grab an oak stake here, and then we'll tornado. We'll warp out and then take the tornado again to get us back to.
We're gonna also check that last clue too.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm playing this very conservatively.
We'll grab an oak stick. We'll do the last clue here. We'll warp out. We'll tornado, and then we'll head right. And then everything will be in front of us. So regardless of what we find.
I actually think I know what the last clue is. I'm pretty sure it's a silk bag, actually, but
Okay.
A, I'm not 100% sure because I might be seed bleeding, and B, it wouldn't hurt to have 4 extra laurels once we tornado again. So but I'll have to collect them 4 times.
That's it. It's quick. See if we can get the clip here. Ceiling clip. Well done. Nice ceiling clip, David. That's a fun trick anybody can do. You can learn that trick today if you wanted to. Yeah, I'm talking to you sitting out there in chat thinking this CV2 Rando thing's pretty cool. I think I might want to have a part of that. All right, David grabs the silk bag, warps out back to Jova, which is right next to the tornado.
No sub-hour for this seed. But
Orange wanted me to
whenever
mention... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
When you don't have a block breaker at 38 minutes in, then you know that's probably not going to be a sub-hour seed.
That's all right. We're gonna have. It's still gonna be a pretty good time here. Orange wanted me to mention from chat that when you're recollecting these laurels, you don't have to unequip. You can just go out of frame and back in frame.
You just have to what?
You just have to go out of frame and then back in frame without unequipping.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for that, Orange. Loading up on laurels here, folks. Getting 2 laurels per pop every time we grab this book. Now maxed out at 8 laurels, and you're saying, well, I thought you could only carry 4, but if you remember, he now has the silk bag, which means he has doubled his carrying capacity for consumables, other than the oak stake.
You also carry 4 silk bags in one
You
silk
can
bag.
carry 4 silk bags with your silk bag if you wanted to. Unfortunately, that negates all the capacity for anything else you can carry, so you can't even have
You carry
laurels.
2
at that
boats.
point. Carry 2 boats. Ferryman might have something to say about that. Piglonian in chat has a question. Have you considered getting the cross and nail?
Oh, we are hilarious.
Yeah, well, I think he wants a serious response, David. So
All right, is it Berkeley or Bodley?
Berkeley.
Even if I'm Berkeley. Yeah. I'm going to need to do it.
All right. Well, Berkeley's got 5 checks for us, so I honestly believe the nail's here. It's got to be.
Going out on a limb there, eh, Opry?
I believe the nail was in Brahms, though, and now it's probably not going to be here either. It's probably going to be in Bodley. Probably both of those last 2 items are in Bodley.
Or it could be in a second Alba.
And there's no second Albas in this seed, David.
We're going to reverse triple FD out if we have to.
All right. We got 4 checks ahead of us here. We have that vendor guy sitting right down there underneath, wearing the blue, snazzy blue there, powder blue. Chargers fan, obviously. And then we have the clue that's in the wall right next to him. So yeah, there's a clue buried in that wall. We don't have wall meat, we have wall clues. So there's a clue buried there. And then there's another clue on the floor below him right now. And then there's the orb, which is down on the bottom level. So
I think we're going to find it right over here.
we got the nails, all we need to find. There's a whip, we'll take it. Never say no to a whip. And there's our nail, folks. We got the nail. So all we got to do is find Bodley, and we're going to be in go mode. We are now in no mode. We call it no mode because we know where the crap is. We just are not there yet. We just got to go get it.
Best floor drop of the game right here.
Oh, that was a clean floor drop there, David. Must have taken years of practice to get that so clean. Did you know that's not actually a floor drop? All right, David's exiting Berkeley right now. He's in the Doina spot, so we're real close to Dracula's castle. The Bodley Mansion, where our last item is right next to Drac's castle. So we're going to be wrapping this thing up here in the next 7 to 8 minutes, I would say. Yeah, for a seed that started off so trolly with the items and the locations, and we had to basically traverse the entire map before we got any progression. For it to start that way, to finish up here under an hour 10, I think is a pretty darn good comeback there on the shaft that game gave you there. And Dracula's dead. Well, we can end the stream, folks, because Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's a secret hack to finish the seed.
you want to get the world record? Just play as Dracula and die in the first minute. Oh, come on. David using the crap out of those 8 laurels, and he should, because they're free.
Oh, you didn't want to do that, but
Drive it like you stole it, David. Last mansion right down here, folks. This is going to be Bodley right down here, and we're going to end this thing off on a positive note. We know that the item is up here in a clue book at the top of this mansion, so we got to climb up here, traverse some invisible blocks. We're going to see a crap load of really weak enemies at the top, and we're going to grab that book and straight on. No, let's not. Let's not do that.
Let's not say we didn't.
Yeah, let's just forget that ever came out of your mouth. All right, there is some. There's some.
Shit.
Yeah, don't activate your laurels on accident there, homie.
See, I don't use laurels enough, so.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, so there's fake blocks on the floor here. So right there, but he just jumped over. There was two fake blocks right there, which cause you to fall down and die, and that's sad.
You know what? Let's just quickly showcase over here.
We'll showcase. So this spot right here. Look at all these enemies. They all take 1 hit. This is a tough mansion. All these enemies have 1 HP.
Except for that
And
one
you
at
can-
the end.
You can grind up all the way to level 4 here, I think.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, but
No, we're not going to do that, but you could, and they're all 1-hit enemies, so that's actually a really nice thing. So when those of you who are out there who invariably begin doing Castlevania 2 Rando, I know you're all clamoring for the website. I'm sure Kalari's website is crashing right now. Know that that's a trick you can use right there. All right. The clue book we seek is directly ahead of us in this room. If you notice that weird looking blocky wall directly above Dracula's head right there, that is where the clue book is. We just have to, you can put it on the eyeball and see it if you wanted to. We could even use that Medusa to get up there. Oh no, this is not going to go well. Oh, we almost had it. Not going to happen. Oh, we almost had it again. Now, losers take the walk, Amber. We'll just take the stairs like normal humans. Or vampires, I guess.
that's what my kids always say when I try doing floor drops that don't work.
Just take the stairs.
Like
No,
normal
I'm
people.
saving frames. All right, we are now in go mode, folks. Magic Cross has been obtained. It is time to rock and roll. You could have just gone left out of here.
What?
From the clue room, you can just go back to the left and go back down. Come out over by
That
the Ibu's
that is
spot.
true. I can pick a second oak steak up.
Yeah, grab that other oak steak. Now you got 2.
Double oak steak.
Double oak steak hype in the chat, folks. All right, we are exiting Bodley Mansion now, and then we are going to be heading on to Dracula's castle. I just want to take this moment again to Give a shout out to our runner today, Mr. David Amber, the whole Castlevania 2 community, Kalari Chatal, for managing our randomizer page and helping keeping things in line. I want to thank Orange for all of his contributions to the community and the randomizer as well as the rest of our community. Math Teacher Guy for making the sprite you're seeing on screen right now. Kigalonian made a lot of great sprites as well. There's so many good sprites out there, folks, and I'd love to see them all get used. So here we are in the final graveyard of the game. This is my favorite screen in the whole game. There's graveyards in the foreground, graveyards in the background, the beautiful mountains in the back. I just live in this screen for all the stupid enemies. I just live here. It's beautiful. This is why this game is beautiful, is this screen right here. Orange says if you bought that last steak from the guy and then you accidentally get a splinter and die before you're able to kill the vampire.
That's the fourth ending.
So it's the fourth ending.
Secret fourth ending.
We're getting vampire on vampire crime coming up here, folks. Dracula's now entering Dracula's castle, as you can see. Last time he was here, it looked very different.
There's one remaining question.
What's that?
Should I try a crit with this monstrosity of a sprite?
If you want to try a crit, so this is what David's asking right now. Normally you line, remember we were talking about the critical hits with the dagger before. The way those work is you have to be on a specific pixel, which gives you the correct distance away from the enemy that you are trying to kill. We have it dialed in very, very well for Simon that you put the heel of his front foot on a specific mortar line on Dracula's floor, and that allows you to get the clean critical kill with the dagger. As you can see with this sprite, there are no feet, so lining it up within 2 pixels is going to be a challenge. I say we just have David do it, and if he dies, he dies, like Dolph Lundgren said in Rocky IV. All right, we are now burning Dracula's parts in the fire, and he's going to come back to life, and we'll see what David chooses to do here on this kill. We are going for the crit. Oh, just slightly off. That's okay. He's still going to win. Oh, that was a bad hit. Oh, it's going to go. What are we going to do? Is he going to win? He's almost dead. Oh, GG's, David Amber. Well done, sir. Good job. GG's finishing up at 109.
Thank you, Aubrey.
What's that?
Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you, Dark Moon. Thank you, Sunflash. Everybody from the Final Fantasy randomizer community. I didn't need to say much because you did some great work, Aubrey, saying everything that was going on. So thank you so much.
I'm pretty good at looking at things and saying what they are. It's a talent I have, you know. We got GG's in the chat from Dryzalier, Dryzalizer, my bad. Banshee Bonfire got a GG. M2, I don't know how to say your name. I apologize. Danny with the donation. M2 also with the donation. Thank you so much. Sunflash gave with a GG. And Banshee, yeah, you are absolutely welcome. It's been a lot of fun here. I I love working with the Final Fantasy Randomizer crew. The FFR crew is some of the best guys on Twitch, some of the best guys on the internet, and they're this is such a cool community, and we're glad to be part of it, if even in the periphery. It's an honor to be asked to come here. I know David really enjoyed doing these runs today, and I enjoyed being here for commentary. We're going to see as this these credits roll here. We're going to wait till that gets to the end. We're going to see David's stats. We're going to see how many times he died, how many enemies he killed, and the number of hearts dropped. So, but congratulations to everybody and to FFR for getting to that $2,000 mark on the first day. That's pretty amazing. Let's take a look at these stats. I'm going to guess 16 kills or 16 deaths is my guess. No, it won't be that much. 14. Okay, I was close. 14 deaths, 533 kills, and it collected 1,866 hearts. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much to Sunflash. You've done a fantastic job tonight. We're gonna head out of here, but if you guys want to come hang out with us, come join us on the Castlevania Randomizer page here on Twitch. We'd love to see you.
Thank you.